What's up guys, Perry here, and we are back with another Anime Vanguards video, and in this video we're going to be doing top 5 best units in update 1.5, and as content for this game runs a little bit short, hopefully my creativity will keep me afloat until however many weeks it takes for them to update, although Anime Adventures is going to come out in a couple weeks too, I think. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, top 5 best units for update 1.5. Disclaimer, this list is in no particular order. These are just 5 units that I think are really good for the new content within the game. And let's get started. Starting us off with our list, we are going to have Gojo. Where is my boy? There he is. Yeah, Gojo is pretty much a must-have for anyone that's running the new game mode. He has a huge time stop ability, or like a freeze ability. He does good damage. He's immune to stun. Really makes him one of the best units for this new game mode, and not much more to say about Gojo besides the fact that I think he's the best unit in the game right now. He's been insane ever since he dropped, and it figures. It's Gojo. He's really good. Let's move on. Next up on the list, I am gonna put Pweeny, and although I don't have him evolved, I'm sure you guys have all seen showcases of him on YouTube by now. He is a pretty solid unit. The Achilles heel of this unit, and also another unit that I'm going to be talking about in this video, is that he is a line AoE on his final upgrade, which basically makes him unusable for late game content. By late game content, I mean stuff like leaderboard runs. I don't think anyone was going to bring this dude into leaderboard anyway. Also, why do his gloves look like little Among Us figures? Is that just my brain rotting, or did they do that on purpose? What? Look at this is the face. Like, if you flip this around. Anyways, yeah, the fact that he's line AoE on his last upgrade, ooh, man, that shoots him in the foot really badly. But I can't complain about that too much, because if they made every single new character from an update have like full AoE on their max upgrade, that would kind of ruin the novelty of full AoE and just make the power creep for this game 10 times worse if every single unit is going to have full AoE. So, although it's unfortunate that he has line AoE on his max upgrade, he still has pretty decent passives. He has this one which buffs his damage, and then he has another one which is solid. And once again, his damage is buffed in the new raid, although the raid's limited. Don't quote me on that either, but since this is a limited banner, I'm assuming the new mode is limited, because what's the point of the new raid after these units are gone, besides farming familiars, I guess? But yeah, anyways, Pweeny makes it into our number 2 spot, and let's keep going. Next up, making the number 3 spot, is the main character of Dandadan himself, Okorun, whatever you want to call him. And, you know, he's a flagship character for the series. Obviously, he's the main character. He was also pretty heavily showcased in the trailer for this game, as well as other sneaks. It'd be pretty redundant if he sucked, so he makes it onto the list. Once again, his biggest flaw is the fact that his final upgrade is line AoE, meaning, you know, a lot of people are going to be turned off from using him. And I don't have him evolved yet, so I can't show you what both of his passives are, but just keep in mind, both of his passives are pretty good. His second one basically makes it so he attacks a second time, like really quickly, and that's about it. But still, his damage is buffed in the new raid, which makes him good. He has decent passives, and he looks pretty cool once you evolve him, so I'll give him the chance to make it to number 3 for the list. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is going to be a unit that I don't have, unfortunately, but maybe I'll get him one day. That's Diavolo, the only Vanguard rarity unit, 0.005% chance. Diavolo Requiem is the 4th best character to get, her best unit to have within this update. And it's not because his damage is buffed within raids. It's for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you're a collector, that unit is basically the holy grail of all units ever, because he's incredibly rare, and once he's gone for good. So yeah, to the people that got him before he was gone, kudos to you guys. Everyone else is just gonna have to live with never being able to use him. But he does pretty decent damage. He isn't the top DPS unit in the game, but he's up there. He also has a little ability, I forgot what his ability does, just like activates Requiem something, yada yada. Once again, I'm sure you guys have all seen what he does on YouTube. His attack patterns are also better than both of the units that we just talked about, because he isn't line AoE on his max upgrade, which is actually nice. can't see his passives from this, obviously, but if he's a 0.005% rarity unit, trust me, he's going to be good. He costs 5k to place, which is pretty pricey, but once again, his damage is also pretty solid. I think if you get Monarch on him, he's top 5 DPS units in the game. Definitely top 10. Top 10 for sure. I'm not going to say he's a must-have unit. That's why I'm putting him in the top 5 best units, because if I were to tell you that a 0.005% unit is a must-have, like, you're cooked. No one's going to get this dude. Most of the people watching the video aren't going to get that dude. Anyways, let's move on to number 5. Choosing the very last spot for this list was a little bit hard because there are a lot of honorable mentions that could have taken its place. So this really just comes down to personal preference. I'm going to give it to Sukuna for the 5th best unit to have in update 2. Reason for that, number 1, his attack patterns are really good. He gets full AoE early on, which makes him very useful for clearing out the early waves. I find that within raids, early game is usually the roughest part of anyone's run, because once you get all your modifiers up and running, the game mode just becomes a joke. But the early game can actually be a little bit dicey if you don't know what you're doing, and Sukuna just lets you turn your brain off. As soon as you get enough money to upgrade him to upgrade 5 or 4, I believe, like, you're just set, because his full AoE upgrade will literally just carry you through the next 10 rounds or so, and by then you'll be able to farm up more money, place more units, upgrade more units. You get the gist. He also synergizes with all bleed units because he applies the little cleave status, which makes enemies take more bleed. So if you're running someone like Chozo or Alucard in your team, it's just going to make them that much better. Not only am I putting him on here for his synergies with other units and his attack patterns, he also has a, it's not a nuke ability, but it's his little domain expansion that deals a bunch of damage. Now, I will say that ability is kind of useless later on because the enemies have like hundreds of thousands of health, and I think his damage caps out at I don't know how much, but it's not hundreds of thousands. I'll tell you that right now. But still, in mid game for raids, that ability is really solid. And let's say there's a turbo granny boss that's running around the map, you pop that ability and she will basically be dead. If not, she'll be really low for your units to finish her off. Sukuna will definitely be taking the 5th spot for the best unit to have within update 2. And with all that being said, that is going to wrap up my video for the 5 best units to have in update 2. Once again, this list is in no particular order, and I already know some people are going to be commenting, oh, why didn't you put Alucard in there? Why didn't you put the grandma? Why didn't you put Mimi? Like I said, Alucard or the grandma, they were interchangeable with number 5. They could have been anywhere on the list, really. Grandma, just because obviously she has buff damage within the raid, so why wouldn't she be good? This is a pretty good unit. In fact, there's a case to be made that she's better than Okorun just because of her passives and the fact that she's not a line AoE on her last upgrade. But she's a 1.5% chance drop, and although that's not impossible to get, it's not something that everyone's going to have as easily as Okorun and Pweeny, in my opinion at least. But still, she could have made it on the list. She has decent passives. Why is Alucard not on there? He could have been. And why is Mimi not on there? Because I know some people are going to wonder that, because she's also an update 2 unit. But I firmly believe Mimi is the worst unit out of all of the new update units. Even though her last upgrade isn't line AoE, it's Cone, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's Cone. Like, she is just such an underwhelming unit. Even with her passives, even with the damage buffs, I just don't find myself gravitating towards using her at all. And that's why she is not even getting considered for this list. Like, Grandma, Alucard, who else could have been considered? There was definitely a case to be made for Julius as well, Igris, Vegeta. But, you know, if I just spam the same units that I've used in previous best unit videos, it'd be a little bit redundant to make this one. So that's what we're going to stick with our final list. Final list is going to be Pweeny, Okorun, where is he? Gojo, where's it? Sukuna, and last but not least, my brain is fried. I already forgot who the 4th unit was. Am I stupid? I might be stupid. Alright, we're back. I remembered the list now. It goes Gojo, Pweeny, Okorun, Diavolo, which I don't have, and Sukuna. There we go. I don't know why that took me so long to remember. That was embarrassing. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll catch you in the next one.